Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something pretty incredible, even if it's often unseen. The essential medical protections that every newborn gets right from their first moments of life. It's a really fascinating look at how science gives us all a healthier start.
So let's just jump right in with a big question. We all know that a baby's arrival is a miracle, right? But what are the actual medical steps that happen in those first few hours to protect their future? Let's find out together.
Okay, so first things first. That journey from the complete safety of the womb into the big, wide world, it's maybe the most dramatic transition a person ever goes through. It is an unbelievable moment of change, and for some little ones, it comes with some pretty immediate challenges.
I mean, just imagine this for a second. For a premature baby, the most basic, most essential task, just taking a breath, can be a massive uphill battle. Their little bodies just aren't quite ready for the job yet. And that's exactly where modern medicine steps in with a truly life-saving intervention.
For these tiny patients, the condition we're often talking about is called respiratory distress syndrome. So let's take a look at what that actually means and the brilliant solution science has come up with to fight it.
So, what is RDS? Well, it happens when a preterm baby's lungs are just too new to make enough of a crucial substance called surfactant. Think of the tiny little air sacs in the lungs, the alveoli, like millions of tiny balloons. Surfactant is the stuff that keeps those balloons from totally collapsing every single time the baby breathes out. Without it, breathing becomes this super exhausting, inefficient process. You see, it's all a kind of chain reaction. The lungs are immature, so they don't produce enough surfactant. This lack of surfactant causes the surface tension inside those tiny air sacs to go way up, which makes them collapse. And the end result? It's a really direct and dangerous problem. The baby just can't get enough oxygen.
And the solution? Wow, it is nothing short of a medical marvel. If the baby's body can't make its own surfactant, well, we can give it to them. These synthetic surfactants are genuinely one of the greatest success stories in all of neonatal care.
Now, you can see there are a few different types, often derived from animal sources, but don't get too bogged down in the names. They all do the exact same critical job. They replace that missing substance in the baby's lungs, coating all those tiny air sacs so they can finally stay open and do their job of exchanging oxygen.
Okay, but giving this stuff to a tiny baby isn't as simple as, a quick shot. It is a very precise, very controlled procedure. The medication goes directly into the lungs through a breathing tube. And the medical team actually has to gently turn and reposition the baby to make sure that liquid coats the entire surface of the lungs evenly. It's a delicate process that's always handled by specialists.
All right, so that was a really specialized treatment for preemies, but what about the universal protections that pretty much every single newborn gets, whether they're full-term or not? Let's talk about the standard procedures that happen in that very first hour of life.
So the first big issue to tackle is exposure. As a baby makes its way into the world, it can be exposed to bacteria in the birth canal. Now, these bacteria might be totally harmless to the mother, but for a newborn, they can cause really severe eye infections, in some cases even leading to blindness.
And the solution is, thankfully, super simple but also incredibly effective. It's just a small ribbon of antibiotic ointment, called erythromycin, applied to each eye. This one little preventative step is safe, it's inexpensive, and it is amazingly good at protecting a baby's sight. It's a standard of care for a very, very good reason.
All right, next up on the list. All newborns, and I mean all of them, are naturally born with very low levels of vitamin K. So why is that a big deal? Well, vitamin K is basically the key ingredient that allows our blood to clot properly. Without enough of it, even a tiny little nick or a bruise could lead to really dangerous bleeding.
And again, the solution is pretty straightforward. A single injection of vitamin K. See, a baby's system just isn't ready to produce its own yet. Their liver is still immature, and they don't have the gut bacteria they need to make it. So this one shot acts like a safety net, preventing a rare but potentially devastating condition called vitamin K deficiency bleeding. Okay, so we've got breathing covered, eyes protected, and blood clotting sorted. Now, let's shift gears from these immediate fixes to long-term protection. We're talking about a baby's very first immunization.
And when it comes to this one, the stakes are incredibly high. Hepatitis B is a serious virus that attacks the liver. If an infant gets infected, it often becomes a chronic, lifelong problem that can lead to awful complications like liver cancer down the road. The whole goal of this first vaccine is to make sure that never, ever happens.
So here, medicine has two powerful lines of defense. All newborns get the hepatitis B vaccine. This is what teaches their own little immune systems how to make antibodies for long-lasting protection. But if the mother is known to be a carrier of the virus, the baby gets an extra layer of protection called HBIG. Think of HBIG as giving the baby a temporary, borrowed shield of antibodies that provides immediate defense while their own immune system is just getting up and running.
Now, this isn't just a one-time thing. That first shot at birth is really just the beginning of a 3-part series. The next doses at 1 month and 2 months build on that first one, making sure the baby develops a really robust, long-lasting immunity against the virus.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground here, from the most intensive care all the way to the standard well baby nursery. So let's do a quick recap of these 4 essential firsts that give babies their absolute best start.
When you boil it all down, it's pretty clear, right? Each of these treatments targets a specific newborn vulnerability. You've got surfactant for breathing, erythromycin for sight, vitamin K for clotting, and the hepatitis B vaccine for long-term liver health. 4 totally distinct actions with one shared goal, giving every single baby the healthiest start possible.
You know, it's truly amazing when you think about it. All this medical science working quietly in the background, right from the second we're born. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? What other unseen marvels are at play, setting the stage for a lifetime of health? It's a powerful reminder of the protections we so often take for granted.